Hello, dear friends. Welcome to ZENPod once again, where we continue our conversations in part 2 with Raga. In part 1, we started the journey with Raga speaking about her 51,000 step journey, a 42-kilometer walk she undertook in order to support the underprivileged children in India who do not have access to primary education. We spoke about spirituality as always, the evolution of Raga. What does success mean to her and how does she define success? Is our society willing to accept the truth? What does living her truth mean? The duality of life and conversations around it. We also spoke about her book Untold Lies and how it came about. Raga also mentions about story OMs, a concept that I'm hearing for the first time, which is a combination of story and poems. How does Raga manage change and what does she think of it? Some very interesting but hard conversations around all of these, which have been a very significant part of her life. So please stay tuned in as we jump straight into part 2 of our conversation with Raga. Thank you very much. You are a champion for unconscious bias, LGBT. Can you share more with the listeners and educate us, actually, us including me as well, on all of
Sure.
this?
So unconscious bias basically is one of my favorite topics. So what is unconscious bias? Bias is wherever we make a
Correct,
differentiate. It's
correct,
simple.
correct.
Unconscious means what something that we're not conscious of or we're not aware of. So a lot of us we've been brought up
Mhm.
against social conditioning. All of us are unconsciously biased, positively or negatively. All of us. You will have a certain affinity towards maybe certain kind of I'm saying people or women or
That's true.
conversations,
That's true.
and automatically you will have a bias towards that person.
Correct.
So we live in that world. None of us are not conscious, unconsciously biased. We are sometimes also consciously biased. Sometimes I will know of something and I will consciously be biased. But what is unconscious bias? Basically it is how we have biases. Now just make to open, ladki ke liye pink, ladke ke liye blue. Girls should play with dolls and boys should play with guns or cars. Okay? So that is also when simple giving example. So when you're born, we're only born with one language, but no language, which is no language. We only know how to cry. Correct? For everything, we will cry. Then when we get a little, little maybe few months or I don't know how many, 8 months, 9 months, we start saying ma, pa, whatever the first words come out. But slowly we start surround when our ecosystem expands. We have caretakers, we have school, we have other networks. Our vocabulary increases and we start saying things that we have heard, and whatever other people say. Somebody will say oh brown ladka wo to bilkul bakwas hai. It's gone into our head. So we start defining and biases by brown
Brown and bakwas.
bakwas. Yeah. We start watching movies. For instance, in movies they will show anybody who has a scar who's a bad
Bad.
man, है ना? Or he's in Ramses horror
Yes.
movies.
Yeah, remember?
So है ना? So we start identifying that with horror or something bad. So anybody we see with a scar, instantly we will say, "Arey, there's a problem with this person. We are scared of that person." So limp, somebody who has a limp, we will say,
Yeah.
"ये तो manipulative cunning hai." It comes
Yeah.
from Mahabharata or
Mahabar
Ramayana.
Shakuni, right?
Right? Correct. Correct. Huh? So these are biases that we have. Or somebody who
True.
is big will be overweight, will be very funny. In
Yeah.
their presence, we will start laughing for no reason. Correct? Correct. Or somebody who's wearing chashma. You and I are nerds. We are intelligent,
Yeah.
super intelligent. Because so these are biases that are a part of our life. Then it
Correct.
goes into even further, Venki. It goes into, let's say we are in a recruitment role, and
Interesting.
then we receive, say, we are looking for a certain role to be filled, and we're receiving applications.
Mm-hmm.
Then you just imagine, how will you shortlist? You will shortlist based on the person's age. You'll shortlist based on the person's gender, married, not married. If there's a photograph, how handsome or how pretty.
Uh,
Okay, shortlist in that criteria. Education also. Now, education. Somebody is educated in IIT, IIMs. Instantly, they are superior. If somebody has been to the same college or comes from the same locality as you, or where you grew up, or same education as you had, superior. So we are constantly biased. We do not think that this role is right for this person. We think this person is best because I am biased towards that person. We don't even realize it. And we do this in every part of our life. The life partner we choose, you know, the way
true.
we bring up our
True.
children,
True.
the education that we provide to our children, which college they should go to,
True.
everything is biased. People say, oh, no, 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 I'm not biased at all. We are all biased. I'm also
Yeah.
biased.
Yeah. True. True.
I like
No.
South Indian men. Sorry. So
Yeah.
Venki sent me a message and I said, oh, no, no, I'll do this for Venki because Venki is from South India.
Correct.
Mera bhai hai, matlab, same, I'm
Agreed.
also from South India. So I'm biased.
True. True.
So
Strange.
we
So
have to be aware. Sorry, Venki. But the
yeah.
point of this is the conversation point is that we have to be aware. We should be aware and we should make sure that that doesn't impact anybody else negatively.
Okay.
In the form of banter, we will say, ye taklu hai, ek
Yeah.
kalu.
Yeah.
All these things we say, nahi, masti ho raha tha. I was just teasing you. Those are not things that we have to be careful because we are hurting somebody else's sentiments. We are disrespecting somebody else. So being conscious of our unconscious bias is very critical. And that is when a lot of us, we have to unlearn certain things that we have been taught, whether it's by
Yeah.
our parents, by our school books we read, the movies we watch, the art form we see, and we form our own biases. Let's form our not biases, let's form our own decisions and choices.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. I'm just thinking about some of those, and you're right. But it always makes me wonder, Raga, and at our age, when we were growing up, I for sure had some pretty funny nicknames. Uh, I may not like to be called that today, but I think I grew up in school with that. I don't think it affected me. I called my friends Kalu or Kanya or all of that, and yeah, maybe today maybe we are all today sitting and thinking maybe it affected him or her, or it affected me in some way I'm not aware of, but maybe it did. Or are we becoming overly conscious as a generation? What do you think?
I see. I think that we must become overtly conscious. If we think it's overtly conscious, I don't think it's overtly conscious. I think we should be conscious because a
Okay.
lot of things that we have done in the past, just because we didn't know, doesn't mean it was right.
Correct. I agree.
So, like you're sitting back and saying, "I've called people
I agree.
Kano and
Agreed.
whatever."
Agreed.
They are slurs. They are some you don't
Yeah.
know, but just because people smile and don't say anything
Correct.
doesn't mean that they don't feel it.
True.
So any form of disrespect,
True.
I think we should be conscious of.
True.
Overtly क्या होता है?
Yeah, you're right.
Overtly you're meaning that,
Correct.
oh, if I think about it, am I getting too politically correct now?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
do I
Yeah.
have to?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
In movies, when people show, say, effeminate men, gay men, as and they'll call them names, make fun of them. Guess what
Yeah.
happens? When parents are watching, children are watching,
Yeah.
instantly they see an effeminate boy, they
Correct.
will do the same.
Correct.
So we are creating that culture. So we have to stop creating that culture. If we want to give
True. True.
so we have to leave a beautiful environment for our next generation, and then they take it forward. We also have to leave a beautiful, beautiful mindset for a next generation so that they can take it forward.
I think that is $1 million word that you use. And I think, unfortunately, we are miles away from it. I don't know whether you agree with it, but we really are miles away from leaving our kids in a good mindset, or our younger generation a good mindset. And maybe we need to start. It's happening. It's happening worldwide, I know, but maybe we need to instill it at an earlier age, and tell our kids, at least those with younger kids, saying it's okay for somebody to be dark. It's okay for somebody to have a limp. It's okay for somebody to not have hair, and he can still be as good. And it is proved for people like us who have lived a decent life. It's proved to us that the fair guy has not been the hero always.
Correct.
It's true. It's true. And,
Correct.
and I'm using fair here a little loose, but
Yeah.
the reality is, it's so that's really, unless somebody does something that leads you to believe that he is a bad person, what I hear you say is, don't jump to conclusions, don't
Yeah,
label him, right?
not just jump to conclude. Yeah, don't label. That's a very
Yeah,
good thing. I
I
think the
think, yeah.
younger generation has uh, exposure to what
Yes.
we have. There's
Yes.
dialogues. You and I
Yes.
didn't have. We had to go to the
Correct.
library to find something.
Bilkul.
And even in the library, we didn't know what to look for because these conversations were not there. So I didn't even know anything about being gay. So, for instance, I wouldn't
Yeah.
look up in the library.
Correct.
But now, a younger person has the opportunity to listen to these conversations, these dialogues, become responsible enough and have a mindset enough when they go into the workforce. influence it positively. Two, make sure that if they're in the creative field, have an output
Yeah,
that is different.
absolutely, right? Absolutely. Yeah, true. Yeah, and it is in some of the developed countries, the communications are already changing, right? So it's no longer, uh, and a very simple example, but no longer good morning, ladies and gentlemen. That
Yeah.
has to change, right?
Yeah.
And that's changing in developed countries. That's changing by some senior people, right? So, yeah, there is, yeah, something beyond ladies and gentlemen as well, and it's okay, right?
Yeah.
So
True.
that's interesting. Yeah.
Venki, when you're talking to me, I'll point it out to you
Okay.
on your own show.
Okay.
So a lot of times you made reference to something as he. So
Yeah.
that's how we talk, right? Our
Yeah.
language is so masculine. It's so
Yeah. I agree.
patriarchy.
And you're right.
Constant. When we talk about a person, we should say they,
Yeah. Correct.
right, or
Correct.
them.
Correct. Correct. Correct.
Why is the person always he? But
Yeah.
but it's not your fault. It's the conditioning.
True.
We all automatically talk about it. No man's an island. No, kahan se aaya?
Okay. I stand corrected, madam. I will take your.
No,
No, this
sorry,
is
I wasn't trying to expose.
no,
But
not at all. There are so many times I use guys,
yeah,
and while I may mean girls, while I may mean she as well, but yeah, you're right. We need to abolish this from the society. Yeah, I agree. Okay, we are learning every day. True. Yeah, but you're right. While I consciously am trying to, it's the unconscious or subconscious thing that slips out because it's been there for so long, and it's
exactly.
like in an engineering class, you had 0 girls at one point of time, and today you have girls taking up some really pivotal positions, which is fantastic, right? So
Amazing.
it's amazing. Yeah, awesome. Uh, the next topic, a little sensitive. You went through, Raga, some really trying times, especially while coming out of the closet. Um, the question I want to ask you is two. One, where did you draw the grit or the tenacity from? Did you have to call on an inner power or the spiritual quotient, as I call it?
Okay. First of all, as I famously say that closets should only be for clothes, not to hide your truth.
I'm glad you
Yeah.
said
Yeah.
that.
Seriously. I say closets are only for clothes and not to hide your truth. That's number one. So this coming out, I hope and I really pray hard that whatever impact people like me are making in this world, that there will be a time when nobody has to come out of the closet.
Really?
And it's like not straight people, not the gay community. Nobody has to come out of the closet. Now, did it take a certain kind of inner power to come out and live my truth? And I think anybody who goes through a challenging time, any kind of challenge, whether it's a loss of somebody's loss in your family, if it is loss of job, separation, divorce, accident, whatever, I think the only thing we call upon at that time is something that is there inside of us. Support outside is very critical. We need to have the support of our family, our friends, our networks, because that also gives us a lot of strength. But in my case, because I was in New Zealand at that time, I was in a foreign country, really all alone. I had to totally rely on myself. And that, I think, has taught me so much. And that is why I think it also helped me build empathy for others.
Mhm.
I never take it for granted. My life, every morning when I wake up, Venki, I thank for having gone through very difficult times, because I feel that, and I'm alive, and I feel that that has given me, made me the person that I am, that has given me the opportunity, therefore, to serve other people in that way. I never question if somebody comes to me and says, I'm going through a really bad time, and I never say, go be strong. No, you can't be strong at that time. That time you need someone to listen to, just listen and see how you can help somebody. And yes, so I think and I'm going to talk about spirituality, because that spirituality, like I said, I also was dysfunctional. Some of us think, and I take back those words now, that at that time I also relied on another spirit of another kind. I used to hang out with friends and think, as we do, good times, bad time, drink, you know, and that hasn't served me well. And I realized that you cannot, whatever grief you go through, you have to deal with it
Mhm.
in the best way possible, because it'll keep coming back. When the drink settles and it's over, or whether you're into drug, you will still come back, you'll still remain. Yeah. But what is important is not spirit, is spirituality. That stays on. And I found that. Not that I was an alcoholic at any point, but that also played a role in my life. And I talk about it, and it just kind of numbs the pain. It doesn't take away the pain. Spirituality takes away the pain.
Nice. Very beautiful. Very beautifully put. Okay, let's talk about, tell the listeners, the person we've been speaking to for the last few minutes or last hour or so is famous. Let me tell you why. You have a film being made on you. Come on. And I've been dying to act in a teleserial all my life.
Oh, good. So I think
let us in on it. I'm so excited.
Okay,
and
good.
by a very well-known film producer. So
yeah, thank you, Benki. It's interesting. I was at a literature festival in Noida, and Onir, the filmmaker who's made My Brother Nikhil and I Am, and wonderful films, on the subject of LGBT and others as well. Bhige Loves, I think, something like that. So anyway, so he was on the panel with me, and he was talking about all these fantastic gay films. And I said to him that, hey, interesting, you're talking about all these wonderful award-winning films. I said, when are you going to make a movie on two women? And he just kept quiet. He didn't say anything.
You told him that?
Yeah, on the panel. I mean, yeah, and
wow.
everything, Venki, without sounding sexist, I must tell you that even in the LGBT community, the gay men have are superior, have the power. It's just exactly like the hetero world.
Okay.
Women are, first of all, women, and I hate the word lesbian, but I will say it. We don't have a voice because a lot of people don't come out because of the whole male bashing and bashing that we get from the community. So anyway, so I was talking to him about it. He didn't say anything. 2 days later, back in Mumbai, first thing in the morning, I get a call. I was at an event, staying at a hotel in Mumbai, although I had a house there. Came to the hotel to meet me. He said, I didn't know your story. I heard your story. You have me in tears. Can you write a story for me?
Oh.
So I said, sure. So he commissioned. So during lockdown, because I live a very busy life, I told him, give me time. So during lockdown, I wrote a story commissioned by Onir, which he rejected. The first 2 drafts he rejected. He said, what nonsense. This is terrible story. Total victim. I don't like it at all. So I wrote a 3rd version of the draft. And the 3rd version of the draft, I made it very funny and light. He loved it. He said, I'm buying the rights from you. And now he's going to make a film based on my life and my story. And that is also I'm in the process of writing a book on that. And that book hopefully will be out sometime this year or early next year.
Awesome. Onir ko bol do yaar, side role bhi kahin pe de de.
Done.
I can even bring a cup of tea to the drawing room or something like that.
Why not? I mean, I'm hoping that he'll give me some role.
Come on. But this is awesome. How do you feel about this, Raga? Apart from the excited and all that.
Yeah.
What's it?
It's a very disconcerting feeling. Okay, I felt the same when my book came out. I'm very uncomfortable about, while I may seem extroverted.
Yeah, I understand.
And I feel that my public,
which is why I asked.
Public,
yeah.
I feel uncomfortable being so vulnerable because it exposes you. It exposes on a large screen. It exposes you again.
Correct.
If you read my book and if you see my story, you'll see that I have hidden many times because of the abuse. So I'm fearful almost of whether I'm opening myself up for that same judgment, same abuse, same kind of ridicule all over again. And this time by people who don't even matter to me. So there's a fear. But then also I think I am now more bandaged, or, the bubble wrapped, let me use the word. I bubble wrap myself so much that I don't think that what an outsider says will matter to me as much as what I say to myself matters to me.
Living the truth. What's your take?
Authentic. You have to be authentic. Nothing else. It's like awesome. Venki, we face the consequences of our choices. You look at your life, I look at my life. Absolutely. Every day, every moment, Absolutely. Right? This conversation that you're having with me, that will go on a public podcast, you don't know what the outcome is going to be of that. You don't know. Maybe we will get accolades and people say, wonderful conversation. Maybe somebody will say, what's wrong with Venki for having these kind of conversations?
Yeah, correct.
You don't know, right? So every minute that we speak the truth, we bring the truth, there is a consequence, and we have to face the consequences of our choices.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that. I mean, yeah.
Wonderful.
People have done it before us and people should continue doing it. And you're
Brilliant.
right. There is no use hiding behind the
Correct.
book.
Correct.
Yeah, awesome, awesome. And I want to get back to the earlier discussion we had before this, and you spoke about even in the gay community, you spoke about the same biases that happen in a hetero thing. What can be as a society, or all of us as a society, do more in supporting Raga, according to you?
See, what they have coined is a term called allies. Allies are people who support anybody who is from the community, right?
Okay.
So I think we need, at this point, right or wrong, we need more allies. I'll tell you, the father to my children, even though what he's been through, I'm sure it's not something which is very pleasant for him. He's our biggest ally. So he
Oh,
supports
nice.
us. He's our biggest ally. He supports us.
Beautiful.
In supporting us, he supports the community. We have friends, family who support us, who support the community. So the best thing you can do, we allies can do, is have these kind of conversations. Be open. Not make decisions or make conversations or respond out of fear or out of ignorance. There is knowledge available, there's information available everywhere. Read up. And I'll tell you a very short story about this
Please.
person. Just 2 3 days ago, I saw this on the internet. A son came out to his father and he said that he was gay. Young boy came up to his father. His father just stopped. He felt, he didn't know what to say. He was in a state
Yeah.
of shock. He had never
Yeah.
expected his son to say that to him. But the first thing he did, Venki, was he held his son's hand. He gave him a big hug and he said, "Don't worry, son, I'm with you. I'll support you." Most wonderful, most
Wow.
important thing. Okay.
Wow.
The next day, he spent all day at a library and he went through every information
What is
possible.
gay?
What is gay and what are the ways, what will my is my son going through. He
Beautiful.
first understood what are the fears he will have, what are the ways that he can be abused, what are the dangers, because there is danger to the gay
Yes.
community.
Yes.
Even today there is hate crime, as you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how can I support him become strong and secure and know that he's got my support as a parent? To me, that is what is important. In India, there's a group called Swikar, which is set up by parents, and which is set up by Chitra Palekar and a lady called Aruna Desai. And they
Okay.
are parents of uh, children who have come out.
Oh,
So this is a support group. They help each other. So if you have any questions or how do I do, what do I do, so there is that help available.
nice.
Corporate companies in India have started this diversity and inclusion cell. You
Yes.
may know that
Yes.
is mostly, it is tokenism, tick in the box, but there are some who take this seriously. So they have these lots of conversations with the youth or the people in the company. That's also important to have these dialogues. Filmmakers are making films on this as a mainstream. So make it mainstream, normalize it, Venki. That is what I'm saying. That's how you can help the community. If somebody comes out and says to you, I'm gay, that's it. You've got that information. Take that information, respect it. Now, don't go and tell 20 other people, Raga is gay. That's not your
Yeah.
responsibility.
Yeah.
You don't tell. People think they're
Nice.
doing people a favor by saying this person is gay, that person is gay. Or if somebody comes out to you and tells you that, I'm fearful, I don't know what to do, show them that they don't have to be fearful just because of their sexual identity. you know that's how we can help spread awareness. Be kind, be compassionate. It could be you, it could be somebody you know it could be your own
So
child.
it's true. Very, very interesting. Very deep. We spoke about this sometime in the conversation, and I'm not sure the next question whether that's answered or you want to bring it up in a different way. The turning point in your life, Raga.
There are many turning points, so I've had many turning points, but for me the biggest turning point right now, I will say, in the present, was when my book Untold Lies was published.
Oh,
That's the day I became this person, and I said to myself, now I will not give anybody the power over me. I will have the power over me. And that is the biggest learning for me, Venki.
so that just happened 2 years back.
Yeah, that's why I say
Wow.
50 and out. I came out at
Wow.
50
Wow.
in many ways. Not even 2 years, a year and a half ago.
Yeah. Yeah. But wow. Inspiring. Yeah. Stick to it, and absolutely. Raga, you are pretty much on social media. You speak at public gatherings. You speak at places that matter, and we won't go into all of that. But what really I want to know is, and I want the audience to hear from you is, what is it? What is something that, and we'll just take one or two examples that someone has said that has stuck in your head after your talk.
There was this one occasion in Jharkhand when I was doing a literary festival. I was on the panel. I finished my session, came out. As usual, you had a huge amount of
Yeah.
people who uh, gather around you. That happened, but there were a couple of very young people who came up to me. One, of course, touched my feet and he started crying.
Oh, wow.
And he said I had given him the courage to go back to his parent, and his mother in particular, and talk about his sexual orientation that he was hiding for a long time.
Okay.
And that was one which had a really, it impacted me. I sat there and I cried because some young mind had really impacted. And there was another girl who said that she was very badly abused because she had told her parents that she was bisexual. Now she's only 18, and whatever their reason that they have chosen to talk about it. And she came back and she said to me, and then she messaged me later and she said, thanks to you, my mother is now okay with me being who I am. So these are the conversations, and I get that constantly. But I think the biggest impact for me was from my mother. Although in my book and in my stories, you will see that my mother tried to kill me when she heard that I was going to explore my sexual orientation, and she reacted that way because she had no other choice. At that time, that is the best thing they knew what to do. They would rather kill somebody, and it was a metaphor, not really killing. I'd
Yeah,
rather
yeah,
kill you than.
I know.
And I got, but she later told me we'd made peace in our Indian families. We never talk about these things. At least our generation never talk. Even if you are failed marriage, children in drugs, never, right? It's all brushed under the carpet. It is put in the closet, as we know. But she said to me, she said, live your truth. That's all she said. To me, that has had the biggest impact.
Wow.
But I still didn't live the truth for a long time.
Yeah, that's very, I'm very glad she said that, right? Raga, before we wind down and close, I have to do a rapid fire with you.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Sure.
I mean, it's been a very deep and a very engaging conversation. And there are so many, and there are so many aspects to it. There are so many. I was just going over some of the discussions we've had, and I made some notes. There is so much more that needs to be done. We talk about equal society, we talk about equality, and I don't think we understand the difference. I don't think we know. I think we are privileged because we deserve it, and the rest don't, right?
Yeah.
Or we think somebody who doesn't look like me is not normal,
Correct.
and that's
Correct.
sad. And that's sad. Yeah. So I agree with you. I think the onus is on people like us, and maybe even the 25-year-olds or the 20-year-olds to, and I think they are, to wipe out that bias, which is why a lot of times people in our generation don't like the younger generation, because they question us, they challenge the bias, and I'm glad they're doing it. Okay, rapid fire for you. So and we'll do it exactly like a rapid fire. So raga is, I mean, what do the following mean to you? So raga is
Random.
wow, I expected some flowery answer from you. Man,
Overrated.
we agree. I agree. Woman,
In my heart.
cute. Okay. Gender equity.
Critical.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's a must. Change is
Challenging.
you saying that.
Yeah, it is.
Truth is
Scary. Live it.
life is.
Magical.
Mm. And you are the PC Sarkar of it, is it?
I want to be.
Awesome, awesome. Raga, what would you like to be remembered as 50 years from now?
This question has been asked of me before, and I think to myself, I don't think I have that kind of an ego that I want to be remembered as anything at all. I want to be in this moment. In this moment, I want to do the best I can, in the best way I can, be the kindest and the most compassionate soul with the right people, of course. Not give power to anybody, not to abuse anybody, myself included. So I don't know whether 50 years from now I really want to be remembered or not. If people can remember me today and be impacted in my today, I'd be very happy with that, Venki.
Maybe 50 years from now or 25 years from now, Raga, your actions would have put 500 kids through school and they would be working in good jobs or looking after their families.
I absolutely hope so. And I pray that all of us, not just my
I,
actions, if
I
all of us
really do.
multiply that action.
And I'm getting goosebumps as I'm saying this, but I really hope that happens for you.
It will happen.
Nice,
So
nice.
thank you.
Thank you. It was indeed wonderful speaking with you, Raga. It was. I think it was a very open-hearted conversation, if you may call it. And anything you want to say before we close up?
Of, just that live your truth is something that I have kept on and on about, but make it fun, make life interesting, make it funny. I do something called LGBT in a minute videos. Look up my Instagram, totally
Okay.
out now. I say the
Okay.
same messages in a funny manner. And I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
Baba Ramdev came up with this whole theory that being gay is a disease.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, as Baba Ramdev would do. So I did a little spoof on it. It's less than a minute, and I basically read that Baba Ramdev says that it's being gay is a disease. Then this person calls up HR and says, "Hello, HR. This is Raga. I
I'm going.
cannot. I'm not. I cannot come into work today." And this person says, "Oh, why? I'm feeling gay." So same message, said in a funny manner. That is how life should be lived. It's not, don't take life too seriously. Enjoy it. Whether you want something for yourself or someone else comes in and asks something of you, just chill, enjoy, have a gin and tonic, live life fully.
Thank you very much, Raga. Thank you. I know you're chock-a-block, but you agreed to come for my podcast. I'm honored. It was really a pleasure talking with you, and we will stay in touch for sure. We will stay in touch. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Venki. You're a fantastic host, and thank you for the love and respect.
Thank you.
And thank you for making a contribution to my walk.
Oh, come on.
That is a huge thing. Thank you.
Come on. Nothing. That's a drop in the ocean. Nothing.
Thank you.